We've heard since morning two important words and brilliant sessions that the panel as well as Shrikant, brilliant session, lots to learn. There are two important words that I picked up from this. One is the word called trust. Of course, GS1 equal to trust, right? That was a big word that we've used since morning, and the other word that we used was AI. And we've seen some in action, we've done some videos since morning, and we understand the impact of AI in our world. Essentially, what we're trying to do with AI and trust is to create trust through transparency. And that is the world that we need to move in, and that is the world that GS1 is also moving in. That how do you build trust with our stakeholders if you are not able to provide transparency? And hence, the ability of all our systems, especially AI-enabled systems, have to be to create one signal, one trust, and create an orchestration layer so that anytime any of our stakeholders or customers use our system, there is no debate about trust because the information is available through a complete transparent model. And that is the whole future with AI that we are going to work with. What essentially it means is that we need people, people can tell the truth, but can products, can services also tell the truth, right? There's nobody else to say it for them, but can the system can actually say the truth. So imagine, as you can see, AI and deep tech is a big leveler. It democratizes and gives power and empowers the marginalized. The people who do not have access to information, to data, to prove themselves can now do that. Of course, it is only the start of this revolution. A lot needs to be done, and we need to move towards that direction. But using AI for the public good is something that we need to work towards, and hence build trust through transparency. It of course helps the farmers to create new aspects of predictive analytics, right? The decision intelligence system. It is not about data, it is about decisions. The third word that I saw since morning, apart from trust and AI, was data. And I actually, to a certain extent, don't like that word. Because having just data does not mean anything if I'm not able to make decisions out of it. So we should actually move from data to decisions. It is not about data science, it is about decision science. And if I'm able to make decisions based on the data the way it is presented to us, then it really empowers us. So that's the third word that I would like to present. Of course, that essentially means that this information is then available like a passport to and create the product in itself with all the information, which of course can be autonomously navigated, so to speak, which then moves into a clear condition monitoring fleet management. Now imagine this is not one system, this is not one technology. There are multiple technologies coming together, but they are all interconnected using interoperability, which then of course reaches the warehouse or the place that it needs to go to. It does all the checks using multiple technologies again, and then at the end of the day, it reaches the final destination. Yeah? This is where I see a massive role that industry partnering with GS1 will play. It is not about trust, it is about transparency, it is about creating trust as a competitive advantage in every transaction and every decision that is getting made, and empowering all your stakeholders using multiple new methods and technologies that today are available. So trust becomes by default, no debate, no question, because if there is one, there is transparent data available on the fingertips for everybody to look at and hence resolve the challenges. This essentially means that while this is so good on a PPT, how do we really get down to this? It's difficult because there are so many things that have to come together. It is not about AI alone. It is also about blockchain. It is also about IoT. It is also about culture of the organizations. It is also about people. It is also about processes. A whole lot of stuff, right? And hence, in our belief, there are two paths to this adoption at scale. One, which large number of companies actually have started to go take, which is, we call that as a use case path. I have a problem. How can AI solve the problem? So I'm basically going and searching for a solution for a problem that exists at this point in time. And I've seen many companies doing this very well, right? So they try and solve a problem in supply chain with one solution. Brilliant. Works well for that piece. The same company solves the sales problem with another solution. The marketing solves another problem. Manufacturing, another solution. What do you get? You get hundreds of use cases or hundreds of siloed solutions being implemented, but none of them talking to each other. They all create a siloed environment which essentially is all about data but not about decisions. The other piece is what we believe is the right way for organizations to adopt is a metric backward path. First, identify what are you trying to achieve? What is the outcome? What is the vision for your company? If you're clear about that, then you can identify how various use cases can come together to solve the problem. So if you work on the vision, which you always say, right? A company works on a vision, architect a path towards that vision, and then define what are the various steps to take is the best way to do. Otherwise, we become a short-term, low enterprise value organization which is really not taking the real advantage of AI and deep tech. But if you move towards a metric backward method, you will then create a long-term view, a long-term path towards great enterprise value for your organization. And that is something that we believe is the movement that is slowly and steadily happening. But with your leadership, with your thought leadership, I'm sure your member companies can also move in this direction and help them achieve the right advantage that this technology and this advancements are happening. So hence, start with the metric. The metric could be, we want to be 30% more efficient in our supply chain. We want to reduce our inventory on our shelf by 40%. We want to increase our EBITDA by 20% by such and such date. And then say what is the path that we want to take. Of course, be very fundamental and clear about the vision, but flexible about the path. Because a path will have multiple solutions that will come up regularly. Today we have a ChatGPT, tomorrow we have a DeepSeek, third day we have something else. So don't worry about what path to take and don't be rigid about the path, be rigid about the metric and the outcome. If that happens, of course, you can then build the systems around it. A flexible but a transparent system, which then will become your organization's operating system, which is an AI operating system or an AI OS. Multiple use cases working towards meeting a big enterprise KPI or a metric that you're going after. That is how organizations need to adopt AI. We've seen some companies moving in that direction and getting great value out of it.